morning. Disclaimer for today. Chronically Ailing Out is a podcast and weekly roundtable discussion that provides a safe space for real chronic illness and mental health conversations by people with lived experience. We are not trained professionals and we do not claim to be. Rather, we discuss our stories and current events to build community and solidarity. Know that you are not alone, and if you are in crisis, call or text 988. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chronically Ailing Out here on Sick of This Shit Publications. I'm Nick Parrow, not your dad, joined by my friends and colleagues. I'm going to skip you for a second, Kate. Soso from both Soso's World and Time for Life.
And the snowy north.
And the snowy north. Next, Beth Cruz, our possibilitarian from the snowy north. Pacific Northwest or rainy Pacific Northwest?
The very rainy but sunshiny day today, Pacific Northwest.
Oh, that's weird. You only get like 10 of those a year.
And then I know, but I am here with you and just basking in it from my desk.
And then
the rays of sunshine that are just glowing all over you.
And then we've got our other Northeast friend, Doc Steph Wilson. Good morning, Doc Steph. How are you today?
I am spectacular today.
Good. I like to. I hear the dripping sarcasm, and it's okay. That's going to cover all of Soso's face. That's not good. And then finally, we're joined by someone many of you may know at this point because you've probably seen her work around and all of her Substack because she's pretty awesome and she writes incredibly great stuff.
Thank you.
But we're not actually here to talk about her writing itself or the content of her writing, maybe around her writing, her creative process. But we're here welcoming on Kait Justice to talk chronic illnesses and herself, and who she is, and how she manages and copes with her chronic illnesses while being a mom, a functioning adult, a writer, a powerful voice here on Substack, an independent investigative journalist, all of the things. Kait hits all the boxes, and I'm going to ask her how, and we want to ask her about it. So good morning, Kait. How are you?
Good morning.
Can you introduce yourself a little bit and maybe talk about what chronic illnesses you're comfortable talking about, what you suffer from too.
So I'm actually really excited to talk about this because I do spend a lot of time talking about, politics and all of the things that I have been writing about. But I have actually been on this journey for a long time. And I mean, it started when I was little and I'm only really in my 30s. I'm 39 now. So in my 30s, figuring out like, oh, I'm not just lazy and unable to do things. It's like there's actually like a diagnosis behind a lot of this. And just within the past year, I was finally officially diagnosed with fibromyalgia. But one of the things that specifically I deal with in my children is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And that's something that I'm really grateful has come up a lot more. There's a lot more research around it, but that's not something that I even heard of until, again, in my 30s. But as a child, I was very, very sick. I actually had chronic sinus infections and strep and things I just could not ever clear to the point where I was on IV antibiotics and I would go to school with the IV in my arm. And then after school, I would go to the pediatrician to get the IV antibiotics. And I was just so sick, and it led to a lot of mental illness and stuff. And so when I finally got better, they had done like a sinus surgery right when I was in my teens, and that seemed to help a lot. But as an adult now, learning about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS, they refer to it as a lot. I've also learned I have what's the term? Multi-directional instability in both of my shoulders, and then I have the cervical cranial instability. So like my skull, where it sits on my spine, is very unstable. And then all of my joints and everything. And so I'm learning, all of this is connected. And so I think that due to my cranial instability, I think it messed with like the drainage in my sinuses and things like this. So because I'm learning, like when I
Interesting.
pop, you know, it's like, oh, I can feel all the tension, and I'm almost like a C. I was also diagnosed with scoliosis when I was little, but you know, it sorted itself out, and it's like, no, it didn't. My body adjusted and dealt with it. So now in my late 30s, it's like this has manifested as chronic pain, fatigue, like all those things that they kind of just tell you, you're just fat, lose weight, or you're a woman, or all those things. It's really hard to get anywhere. But again, I'm grateful the past year or so, I've really seen some doctors who are like, oh, wow, hey, you've been through it. Like, yeah, let's really get you some help, because I don't want to call myself a difficult patient, but I also am not, like, medication is not my go-to. Like, I will take medication, but I will only take it if I understand why it's absolutely necessary. So you have to be able to explain that to me. And most doctors are good about it, but it's like they have 15 minutes usually with you. They don't have time to really break it all down. So it's like I try not to just put the blame, if you will, on the doctors, because there's a whole, I'm sure you've discussed this many times, but the medical system itself has failed all of them as well. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've been working really hard on, you know, finding the right like physical therapists and people who can start to help me train my body. And then I see a couple of specialists who have helped, again, with just pain management, like a physiatrist who does some manipulation and things. And it's been probably the most helpful thing that I've done. And I feel like I've tried everything at this point. So that's kind of where I'm sure that I've missed a whole bunch of stuff. Like there's definitely some autoimmune things that haven't been totally diagnosed, because I'm seeing rheumatology at the moment. And that is a whole discussion I can have as well that ties into another one, kind of one of my topics that I write about. So
Wow,
I know it's a lot. I was like, I'll let you digest for a minute.
That's a list that you kept saying words about like conditions and symptoms that you, or like, illnesses that you suffer from, and I'm like, I got that. That sucks. I got that sucks. Fuck,
most
that
people
sucks.
do. Yeah.
Fuck, that sucks. Every single one I just was like, that sucks. I hate hearing it.
And a lot of people do have them together. Like a lot of them, you know, especially the people with EDS, they're learning this is because people hear EDS or Ehlers-Danlos, and previously even the doctors, a lot of them are like, oh, so you're bendy, like you're, you know, maybe you'll roll your ankle more. But it's like, this is a whole connective tissue disorder. So it's not just your joints. It's like, it's literally everything that holds your organs in place and all of your tendons and everything. The way a doctor had described my tendons to me, they said, basically, most people have, you know, a rubber band, a really strong, solid rubber band, and it will stretch and snap back. Yours are rotted rubber bands. So they're just permanently extended. There's not a whole lot of movement, and they're just loose. And so you're like a wet spaghetti noodle, and your body has no structure. So you're constantly trying to find where you should be and put things in place. And so your muscles start to compensate. And I'm, like I said, I've just learned a lot of this in the past few years, and it's made such a huge difference in the way that I spend my time trying to help myself, I guess.
Don't hesitate to talk about what you're living, because I'm seeing in the chat, this is the right place to discuss, you know, lots of people are saying, well, you sound exactly one person said, you sound exactly my daughter. Like the symptoms when you have a chronic illness, like what Nick was saying, they overlap so much. And I find that that's also why it's so difficult to get an accurate diagnosis, because it's like it sounds like you're searching for a needle in an haystack, you know. And so a lot of people here like, oh, and some of them have the same EDS.
The letters
I'm French
EDS.
speaking, so you might.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm very big on asking questions. I encourage them. So if you're not sure what I said, ask again. But yeah, EDS is the abbreviation for, because it's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I imagine they're the people who coined the condition itself. But there's actually
Okay,
Yep, go
sorry.
ahead.
I read that when you're young, it's kind of like one of the first signs that you're often hyperflex. You know, like you can like
Yes.
put your your feet behind your head, and things like
Yeah,
that.
or just your thumbs go back, or your elbow extends. Mine are my shoulders that I've learned,
Yeah,
and that's directly affected my neck and
yeah.
everything, and that's so much pain, and it prevents me from almost like holding my chest up. It's like
Oh,
almost because my shoulder blades flare, because they're not. It's
Mm.
almost like they're detached. Like there's nothing that holds them there.
Oh
That's the
no.
multi-directional instability. So basically, your shoulder fits into this ball fits into the socket. Mine kind of hangs on barely. Like it's barely in the, it just is hardly hanging on both sides. And so like I've always had to work extra hard to use these muscles, but I didn't know that.
yeah,
I
and you
just learned
overcompensate.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've spent my whole that's the other big thing that I missed. That's kind of like a huge part of my whole identity at this point is dysautonomia. So that again goes along with the EDS. And the main part of dysautonomia that most people can relate to is POTS. And that term has come up a lot in the past few
Yes.
years.
Yeah.
But I actually learned about it because of my daughter. And again, she is only 13, but I think beginning when she was about 9, we started experiencing all of these weird symptoms. And they just she would just all of a sudden start throwing up, like she couldn't control it out of nowhere. It's like she would just get like faint and I'm like, what is happening? And we've since learned it's POTS. Like if her blood pools and then she gets faint and it affects your blood pressure. And so your blood pressure drops and you get real faint and some people get sick. And so we've learned that. But at the time, nobody knew what that was. And so again, and then I've learned that that's what I have too. So I spent my whole life dealing with all that. And I just thought everyone had this. I didn't know that everyone didn't have to work so hard to just stay upright and function, and the POTS thing is really, really debilitating. And some people, it's manageable. It's more like, oh, I can sense I'm feeling this, I'm getting tired, and they can adjust with, the proper, a lot of them, it's like salts and minerals. They really recommend. So like a lot of liquid IVs that has a lot of sugar. So some people are kind of against that, but it's just the mineral replenishment and then the salts. And so I've just spent so much time learning because as a mom, I had to advocate for my child who they were not helping at all. Literally TikTok diagnosed us because like one of our big situations that happened with her, we had gone to the Eras tour. I brought my girls and she ended up so sick there. And I had this video I had just posted on TikTok, and the comments, people are like, oh my gosh, does she have this? This is what's happening to, and literally that's how I heard of POTS. I'd never even heard of it before. And so I went down the rabbit hole and started learning all these things. And it's just been so helpful to learn. And I say that because I know a lot of times the doctors don't want you to go to Google and, because yes, you will. It's not great to do that. But when you have a specific thing that you're looking up and you're learning about, it's helpful. And then what you do is instead of going to your doctor and telling them that you have POTS, you go to your doctor and you ask them educated questions. Like,
Absolutely.
okay, I learned about this condition and I'm curious if you think that this aligns with, what I'm experiencing. And then you have that discussion, because then I feel like it opens your doctors up a little bit more than and sometimes you get ones that it just triggers them and they're just like, nope, it's not that no matter what you say now, because I didn't come up with it. So unfortunately that happens sometimes.
That's true. It's like you have to kind of be smart about it. It's kind of,
you do,
everything makes sense, but you have to be,
it has to be their idea.
what-
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. There's one of the things I've noticed from many doctors is there's a superiority complex thing.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it
That's
has
the
to be
ego.
there.
I mean,
Yeah, that it's very ego driven. It's also a very male dominated field, and I do a lot about
God
masculinity.
complex.
yeah,
A
a little bit.
lot of them have God complexes or whatever narcissistic complexes that they have or tendencies that they have. and I think we've all had some really bad experiences with doctors, but this is what everything you're saying is a lot of like what's kind of wrong with our system in
Yeah.
that we have to be so strongly educated and like major. Yes, we always have to advocate for ourselves. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but like we shouldn't have to learn all of the symptomology and
Yeah.
like comorbidities of why someone with EDA, EDS, and often ADHD go hand in hand.
Yes,
Or
this is exactly it. Yep. I also have that. So
yeah, I was going to actually ask. I was like, "Do you have ADHD?" You sound
I
like someone.
actually was when I was diagnosed with AD because I think I was diagnosed as a kid, but I have a lot of trauma. So I've realized again as an adult that people don't just forget things. That's trauma. So I thought, that as you get older, you just kind of forget what now. So there's a lot there. But I was diagnosed as a kid ADHD, but as an adult, I think, like 3 or 4 years ago now, I had been reevaluated and diagnosed ADHD. But the caveat was I have all of the symptoms of autism, but because I have so much trauma and I'm just as an adult, she said, you do in the sense that that's your behavior, but it's very hard for me at this point to say you are an autistic person. Versus
the overlap is tremendous.
Yeah.
We're dealing with that with my son,
Yeah. So I'm like, that's fair. That's fine. Because for me, the label isn't so much for me. The labels are information because for me, I need to understand something so that I can cope with it. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not necessarily trying to correct or fix everything because some of this is just my body, right? And so what I'm trying to do is understand what's happening to me so that I can deal with it and prepare myself and just better avoid situations and then teach my kids these things who are also likely ADHD, which is the combination there. But honestly, because I know there's a lot of people in my whole family and most of my friends and all I'm definitely the odd one out. Most of my family is not as into the science and information. They're very just like, yeah, it is what it is. And for me, the labels, if you will, have been so validating and helpful and just wow, I'm not just lazy, I have POTS. I physically can't do it. The more I try, the worse it gets. It's not actually just a matter of fitness. And so it's yes, to some degree it is for sure. I can 100% put more effort into that, which is what I'm working on now. But there's a limit. So at certain points during the day when I'm just crashing, it's this is not a choice. This isn't because I just made bad choices all day.
Right.
And that has been huge for my mental. If I had known that as a teenager, I probably would have been a different person. That would have been a whole different life experience for me. And so that is what I keep trying to explain to my kids' doctors. And I think now that we've gotten regular doctors who understand that about me, that I'm not trying to get them medicated. I'm trying to make sure that we have a clear understanding of who they are and what they can do so that we can make sure that we accommodate and I'm helping them not self-medicate someday, because that as a mother is a very big concern. We have all over the country, but especially where I live, it is a huge, huge problem. Addiction. And I feel like people with chronic illness are just really the ones who end up there because you get to a point where you're a lot of them end up self-medicating and it's just really hard to watch knowing that they just probably are people who just needed help and didn't get it.
A lot of pain.
A lot. Mental, physical, all of it. Yeah.
Do you find, because I noticed for me with my fibro or my psoriatic arthritis, it all runs together, but do you find that your tendons, I find my tendons are so wrecked. It feels like they're so tight, they just can't pull. I can't explain it, but so I struggle with walking. When I get a flare, it goes right into my legs and I can't walk. It's just horrifying. And so I wonder,
yeah, mine is in the
who
neck.
else has that in the neck?
Yep. but that's exactly mine. And then also the lower back, when I have a flare, because I always thought it was, because I have bone spurs on like on the whole left side of my body, all up and down my spine.
Mm-hmm.
I have herniated discs. I have arthritis in my neck between every vertebrae. Like I have the neck of, because like I said, I'm 39. So the doctor said they would expect someone with my neck to be well into their 60s. And so that's from the hypermobility and constantly trying to move, and then, my body compensating. And what I learned is you probably do also have the hypermobility. And what happens by adulthood, though, is you're not actually that flexible, because what happens is your muscles have now compensated for all of the things your tendons weren't doing. So now all the muscles are like this, and they're constantly trying to hold things in place.
Always like that.
Right.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I sleep with a cervical
Always.
collar, because when I wake up in the morning, my muscles have like tried to contort me into a pretzel, because it's like, I'm pretty sure that my body thinks my head is falling off in my sleep. So it's like trying to pull everything. And I think that's what the teeth grinding and all that stuff is too. It's like your muscles trying to hold everything on. So your muscles get really, really tight. And then it's just like everything is a knot. So you're like, I'm not hypermobile. I'm not super flexible. It's like, not anymore, because your body has like compensated for so long.
Makes sense.
So you do a lot on here.
Yes,
you
a
do a
lot.
lot of writing. You do a lot of work. Plus, you are a parent, and like I said, you're a functioning adult on top of all of that.
Most days.
What have you done to give yourself permission during the day, or remember to give yourself permission to actually take those breaks and not overwork yourself? Like, how do you remind yourself to do that? And are you able to do it without like adding unnecessary guilt for yourself?
I know exactly what you mean. The guilt is the worst thing. I've gotten better just because I know once I can feel because like I said, mine's mostly like my neck and stuff. It's like, it feels like I can't hold my upper body up anymore, and I just need to lie down. It's not even that I need to sleep. I just need to lie down. So usually when I get to that point, it's like even 15, 20 minutes of just like resting, I can get up. So it's like, it's almost like an itch or something. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's like that ADHD, like I can't sit here anymore kind of thing. And it's like, I need to move my body. And so once I start to feel that, I'm like, okay, I need to do something. But what I'm trying to get better at is just setting time limits. Like I'm going to work from this time to this time on this. And if it's not done, it's not done. But that's where my ADHD hyperfocus, especially doing what I'm doing, right? Which is all research. I'm literally just going down rabbit holes for a living now. And I get so focused and so it's like, that's all I want to do. Like the other day, I turned it off and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something else. I couldn't stop thinking about what I was working. Like I had to go, I'm like, all right, I have to give myself 20 more minutes at least, because I cannot move on. I can't, like, I just couldn't do it. And so that's really, really hard. One of the other things though, that I forgot to mention about the pots that I have figured out that has been really helpful for the energy thing is a shower chair. So, because one of the things with POTS, right, is your blood pools. And part of the problem with that is a normal person, your blood vessels would constrict to force that blood back up when you stand up so that it gets to your heart and your brain and your lungs and important things. Well, people with POTS, ours doesn't constrict and it all just kind of pools. So then your heart's freaking out trying to pump everything really, really fast. And then your heart's racing and your blood pressure's and then you feel like you're dying. And the heat makes it worse. So when you're in the shower, it's like everything is just way worse and you're standing there. So it dawned on me, because my daughter actually broke her knee in February. And so we ended up with a shower chair anyway. And I had been wanting to get one. So, nature was like, here you go, you need one now. And so I've been using it. And it's like, what a difference in my energy when I get out of the shower. Because after a shower, I like have to really just like rest after. I'm like, all right, I am like,
Right?
I'm so tired. It's so exhausting, but it's because my heart's been racing for the entire I now know this. I didn't know this before, but it's like because my heart's racing, trying to prevent me from blacking out in the shower. And so now that I sit, like, I've not the whole time, but like I'll keep it in there, and like, you know, when I start to feel like, okay, I need to sit for a second, I'll sit. And it's just been so, I don't feel like I need to lie down when I get out of the shower anymore. And that's a big deal, you know, because that's like when I start my day, I shower in the morning. So it's like I need to be able to get up and go. And so just having little hacks like that, I guess, if you will, those are the things that I'm trying to discover to try to help, you know, give me back some of my spoons, if you will.
Do you do a lot of sitting or standing during the day when you're doing your work?
Sitting.
I know interesting, because you have probably some similar things going on in your back and your spine that I do. I have arthritis in my spine. I have degenerative discs. I have neuroforaminal stenosis, all of that random stuff.
Yep.
But I've found that when I sit, it hurts more.
Yep.
And so what do you do to maybe compensate for that if it hurts to sit?
I don't know if I can
because you do a
show
lot
you
of
this
work.
or not. But like this chair, I don't know if you can see, but it's like this little, like you sit on it.
Oh, it's a stool chair.
Yeah, and like you sit
like at the dentist.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, but your legs go on either side and you tuck them back, so you're kind of forward. So you're not like sitting back, you're sitting forward, and it really like makes a difference, because for me that's when you're sitting, part of what it is, I think, is you start to lose that strength in your hips and just that lower part of your body, and this kind of forces you to, you know, balance yourself a little bit differently, and it's not just that flat like cooked shrimp kind of vibe, you know. It's like it forces you to almost do the opposite. And for me, that's like my shoulders don't really keep me back, so this is like just enough to
at my dentist office, all the assistants have it. So like you, not us obviously, but they all have that type of chair. Like you
right, it just keeps you upright more, and then it's not that, I don't know, I don't have like I lean, but it's even different than when I'm leaning in the other chair. It's like instead of rounding my back, it's almost like I'm propping myself up on my back, which is what you're actually supposed to do.
I feel like I can't keep myself upright enough to do that. Like, so I have this chair that I sit in sometimes and a massive back pillow. But I'm on the couch with like a wedge and whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. They end up with like, a lot of people will get custom, who work constantly on a computer, they'll get custom stuff where they can lean back in the chair and the things in front of them and their screens are here so that they're punched over. But it is, and there are some other like, the other things I do are there's shapewear. So I had seen these things, it's called like jelly bellies or something. And I kept seeing ads for this, but when I was pregnant, I've had 3 babies. I used to wear these things around my belly just because my belly was too heavy. It would like pull down and I couldn't keep myself up. So I would wear those and I was like, hey, I still have some. And it's like, wow, what a difference. So I just got those like Shaper Mint tank tops, and it has the compression around your stomach. And it's like just enough to kind of help me feel like I'm not working so hard to sit up straight. And it's just little things like that I have learned, but it's because I've been able to give my conditions a name. Like I would have never been able to figure this out if I didn't understand why it was happening. So that's been really, really huge. And then there's like so many awesome communities like this that have just awesome recommendations, and you know, people who have tried things and are like, yeah, don't do that one, you know. So it's just nice to have that.
Where did you get the chair from, or do you remember like what type of name the chair
is? Goodwill. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I saw it, and I'm like a super antique, I love old books and old things and history, and so I'm always at the Goodwill. But I saw that one. I don't know if it has a name. I'll have to look after. If it does, I'll send it to you. I don't know if it has a tag, but they're
if it doesn't, we'll try and find it for you.
Yeah, just do a Google image search of something. I'll take a picture of it.
Yeah, we'll make sure everybody knows what those types of chairs are, and if I can, I'll find links that are not Amazon based or like large.
I know it's really hard. I was
stuff.
thinking about that the other day. I'm like, everyone who's like, oh, you shouldn't support the big box and everything. I'm like, well, where would I even go? Like, where would I, like, I live in a smaller town, so it's like we don't have a lot of small owned electronic store. It's like if you want to buy, even our like Mac certified repair place doesn't sell the Macs. Like, you can't buy them there. So I'm like, all right, like, what am I, you're only left with so many options. Sorry, that was a tangent, but I was just thinking about that the other day.
My tangent is like, I still am relying way too much on Amazon, but frankly, my Amazon Prime membership isn't as important as the AWS, the server things that are making them all the money. And, like Iran bombing a server building is far more helpful in that regard than me turning off my Prime membership. So that's how I.
Yeah. And we have to, like, it's also pretty ableist to assume that people can get to stores or have, like Kate, you just said too, is have access to all the stores. Like, even I'm in Northwest Arkansas. I'm in the home of Walmart. We don't have very many small stores anymore. It's all owned by Walmart. So like we have to make sacrifices, make do with what we can. And for those in the chat, we have found the name. Thank you, our friend Jack in the chat, who we all love. They're called saddle stools.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great.
So find yourself a saddle stool if you can, like wherever you can find one, whatever the way that you can get one, if it helps for you.
Okay. Yes, and also the other thing is to keep a regular chair too, because after a while you might be like, oh, all right, I can't do this anymore. But it does help to change it up rather than to just sit there like someone had said a cooked shrimp once. I was like, wow, that is literally exactly what you look like when you sit there and your whole back's like just a perfect C.
And sometimes you need the super expensive, and for that I recommend Facebook Marketplace over everything else.
I agree. Like all of that, I buy most everything I possibly can secondhand.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, always support second. Like all our, like for the book club and stuff that we do, I recommend people go to bookshops or thrift stores to get their books if you can find them. Steph or Beth, you have something you're about to showcase.
I was going to share. Cool. I was waiting.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I love sharing time.
I had to get this. Okay, this is sharing time. I had to have this. This wraps around me like queen that I am, right? And ties. It's a heating pad. But it does my back. It goes down the back.
Yeah, all the way down.
My shoulders, snaps, and you can crank this puppy up to 150 degrees.
That's amazing.
It is so good. I highly recommend it. I ordered it off of Amazon.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna go run and find my little show and tell item then too. That
I like show and tell.
I actually got one of those things that you heat in the microwave, but it's really long, and it's a very small store in Brunswick, Maine, and they ship. So if anybody's interested, DM me. I think it's called Grandpa's Garden or something, but they have amazing heat up things that that if you know of a place that does that, like, and they ship, then it's awesome.
Yeah, I just love the hot and the cold devices. But I just got my oldest for Christmas. It was a heating blanket, but it's literally a full body blanket that has like places to put your hands and feet in, so you can just kind of like wrap yourself in it. It's so cool. Yeah. I think it had a hood. I don't remember.
It's like my headache hats. I have 4 of them, and they all came from Amazon, and I'm very sorry.
Well, that's the make do. You need what you need, and then next time, if there's better options that we can find out about, we'll do that. But I mean, until then, we do what we can.
What you got, Dad?
They make
so this is my little back of the head massager. Goes on your neck and the back of your head, and it harnesses to you.
Does that do like a traction thing?
I'll turn it on for a second.
Almost, yeah, that's cool. I like the way that hooks on.
Maybe if it has, there we go. And then it sort of just tractions on your neck.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, that's cool.
I like
It's really
the way it hooks
it's really
though.
nice. Yeah, and it's
I
nice
like
because
it.
it's like it's loose. It doesn't get in the way. It's easy to use, and then it just pops right off.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I think I need to.
It
And
looks
then
a
I've
little
got
bit like Jar Jar Binks, though.
yes, it looks funny.
You're like,
Well, if we're gonna go that
I love
direction,
it.
and then the next piece of cool tech I have is this little stormtrooper armor that goes on your knee. And so
Oh,
you
is it a
keep your-
red light?
Yeah, it's a massager, heater, and
Infrared.
red light.
That's
I've got to
Cool.
try that one.
And
The
my
red
wife got
light,
me
I
this
think,
one. I think
really
on
does help.
Amazon. Yeah, I think so too.
I have
Doctor-
done it, and like I have a just like a, like a square rectangle, like red light thing, and it's not. It's a true red light because there's different kinds that you can get and things. So I looked it up, and I know it's like a good red light, and I've tried it on my shoulders, and I mean it's like the weirdest sensation for me. I feel like I can feel it. Most people are like, "Oh, you don't feel it," and which is normal, but I'm like highly, highly, highly sensitive
We're all
to
highly
everything.
sensitive.
Yes.
I think.
And
Yes.
I can, it's like this weird relaxing I don't know, like it's like everything's kind of just nice feeling, and so I feel like it does help me when I remember to use it. I'm like, it just helps that pain. I don't know how to explain it really, but I feel like it does actually help me. So because my mom's like, no, I didn't feel anything. I was like, okay, well, I did. So
I'm glad you said
They're so
remember
different,
to
right?
use it. I'm
Yeah,
glad
I
you said
remember. Yeah.
because we don't. It's hard to remember. And Debbie, I'm sorry, I don't know what the name of the massager is for the neck. Here's what it looks like, though. If you want to, like, be able to see it, it doesn't have
Look for
any.
something
It
with a
doesn't have
grabby
any
hand.
label. Yeah, look for something that looks like it's an excited hugger that's ready to hug the back of your neck with little fingers.
It's really weird, but it's cool.
It is kind of funny looking, but like it's like getting all these devices. Some of them I forget I have, but then I use them and I'm like, holy shit, I wish I remembered to use this.
I know, that's what I do too. I have tons of these random things, and when I remember them, I'm like, oh wow, that's so good. I wish I
it's
remembered
great
to
that we
use it.
share. And that
Yeah.
we share this. That's so great. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
'cause
hopefully-
I'm looking at that knee thing going, I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, well, my
Can I
daughter just
say-
broke hers, so
Ooh.
she's
Oh.
in February. We were supposed to, because we come from a very humble life, so we don't do a whole lot of traveling and like things. So we had this trip planned, and hold on one second. What do you need, Ellie?
Can I do Roblox yet?
Yes, baby. Have a little bit of time.
That sounds just like my kids.
Well, we don't do tablet like time in the first thing in the morning just because I'm trying to minimize the dopamine impacts there. I'm like, I'd rather you just be bored for a couple of hours and then, your dopamine bar isn't so high for the day. But I forgot what I was saying. Do you remember what I was saying? Nope. We're all so ADHD.
We
It's
are
totally fine.
So
because I had a
it's a
thought.
good thing
She
we don't
interrupted
all
me.
have shows together.
Or
Oh my gosh.
That four of us have a show together where we forget what we're talking about midway through what we're talking
This is why
about.
I try to
that's why we're all over the
explain
place.
to my kids though, like when I'm writing, or I'm sitting and I'm doing something and I'm like clearly in the middle of like typing and like thinking and processing and they'll just, especially one of them in particular will ask me a million
Dopamine.
questions.
Dopamine
Yes.
and screen time in the morning. That's what you were talking
that's
about.
what we were
First
talking
interruption.
about.
Oh, no, that's what I came on to talk about. That's what I interrupted myself with. I was talking about something before that. But yeah, but I don't know. That one's just long gone. But it was just, I don't know. I can't remember what we were talking
We
about.
all live with brain farts, Jack.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
Jack.
kind of
Someone said
That's
my
kind of our
CD
thing.
skipped, and I was like, "Yes, that's exactly what it feels like. Your CD's skipping." It's like and I feel like the harder you try to remember what you're talking about, the further away it goes. So I just usually will stop for a second.
That's something.
I
that
think I
every
was talking
age
about her
group can
broken
do.
knee.
Oh yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
was talking about. We were
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go. My oldest had broken her knee, and this was in February, and we had finally planned a girls' trip. Me and my oldest two girls were going to go to New York City because we don't live super far away, and we were going to spend a a night or two and do like fashion week stuff because it was her birthday. She had turned 13 and mine was the week after. And 2 days before we were going to leave, she was at school and she fell and she twisted her, because she has EDS, her kneecap dislocated. I mean, it was literally on the side of her leg when I got there. And so they had already called an ambulance by the time I got there. And she had fractured multiple bones and tore a bunch of stuff apart. And it was a long couple of months at this point. But she's she's doing really well. We're almost, she has to do her brace extra long just because she is so hyper, like her kneecaps just move around anyway. And so they just want to make sure that she's not going to do that again. But otherwise she's doing really well. She's just very done with that brace now.
Do you think that because she was diagnosed like earlier, like she'll have better care? I mean, over the long
100%.
term, like she'll be able to prevent those kind of, well, not necessarily prevent, but I mean,
Yeah. I know
like
what you mean.
maybe
responsive
the
to.
onset of her illness is going to be delayed. I guess that's more my question.
Yeah, she'll
hopefully.
be able to hopefully not experience the pain levels that I experience now, because hopefully we will be able to prevent some of that damage just knowing what she deals with. And so because we live in Massachusetts, and because, yes, so I live in Massachusetts, and because of that, I'm in Western Mass, so way far away from Boston. Are you also in Massachusetts?
I mean,
I heard
I'm in
Northeast.
Boston. I live in Lexington.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We're in the Berkshires. And because I had started advocating so early for her and really did my research, and we just happened to have a pediatrician at the time who listened to me, thankfully. And I found out that at Boston Children's, they actually have an EDS clinic. So it's just a group of specialists at Boston Children's who specialize in the kids with EDS. So they're just more familiar with all those things. So she was able to get in and see ortho there. I actually have to reschedule that appointment because I think it's the same day as ortho for her knee, but that's because she has the scoliosis and stuff. And then genetics, they have determined that she has some kind of connective tissue genetic disorder, but because, science doesn't know exactly what it is yet, but the geneticist was like, yeah, there's definitely something. So she's just monitored because, there's not necessarily that they can quote unquote fix anything, but to your point, it's going to help her just be more aware of her body and what she needs. And then they'll be able to, in another couple of years, run her genetic test again to see if there's any new information that's come up that maybe they can share with us. And so I think that it's going to be so much different for her being able to just get some, proper treatment and understanding, because that's not at all what my experience was.
No, I neither.
Right.
Somebody wanted to know about your doctor, and I would love for you to tell us, but there's also a doctor that I know several people have gone to in Rhode Island as a specialist. Don't know their name at all, but their EDS, like mast cell, like random as shit, like stuff in Rhode Island. Can't imagine.
Yeah, you're probably better off finding a doctor like that in Rhode Island. With the Boston Children's, I think the only way to actually get into that clinic, if you will, is through your pediatrician. Like your pediatrician has to refer you in, and then they have certain screenings that they'll have to do in order to like, it was like she had to have like an eye exam and something else before they would, so it's like you'd have to go, the doctor, it's not so much a doctor as it is a program. So they, your best bet would be to just look up Boston Children's Ehlers-Danlos clinic and see if there's any information there, because I want to say my pediatrician had found that clinic. I don't remember which one of us, but the pediatrician was the one who had to make that referral out anyway. So, but to your point, there are, especially now, there are a lot more.
Oh
no, we lost her for a second.
She'll be
She'll
back.
be, she'll be
Sorry.
back with us. Oh, there she is.
There we go. I don't know. My internet dropped.
The
Can you-
EDS doctor in Rhode
We can hear
Island
you.
is for adults. So I could, if
Yeah,
somebody
they're
wants to DM
just-
me, I could get in touch with a couple people that I know that went there, but I'd have to really look it up. It's probably
Yeah, there
easy
are
on Google.
more popping up though. There are more like clinics and specialists, or even just like traditional physical therapists who are specializing in people with EDS and things like that. There is a lot more information as far as like the mast cell thing goes, because I heard you mention that. Mast cell activation syndrome is one of those things that is not well understood still by the medical community, and you'll get a lot of different answers on that. But it's pretty straightforward. Like if you look up what mast cell activation syndrome is, you like either have it or you don't really. You can look at it and you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely me, or no, this really doesn't describe me. But it has to do with your mast cells, which, kind of just generically, because I'm not a scientist, but your mast cells are related to your immune system and to histamine. And so when your immune system gets confused, sometimes it overreacts and you end up with a dump of mast cells, and it can cause allergic like reactions to nothing at all. So you can end up with I don't remember if it can actually cause anaphylaxis, but I know it can feel like that to a degree, and then you end up with hives, things like that. And then you can have a much more mild version of it. And sometimes it's just triggered by high histamine foods, that kind of stuff. So it's something that is often tied to people with EDS and other things like that.
Well, I think this is actually a great point for us to get to we have another segment before we end. We have gone to basically the top of the hour already here without it
Wow.
feeling like it. Which means
was
We have to
great,
have you
Kate.
back.
we're going to have you back again,
Mhm.
because this was really fun to talk with you
Mhm.
about all this and be able to hear what's going on in your life and who
Yeah,
you
well,
are.
thank you. It's been
And-
nice to talk about it. Like I don't get to talk about this side of it a lot, but this is something that has been a huge part of my life and has been very, very, very difficult. I have a significant amount of medical trauma and things that I've had to overcome
Mhm.
and still am dealing with. So it's just been nice to talk about this side a little bit.
Good. Well, you're
I
welcome
think a
back
lot of us
anytime.
have massive amounts of information in there, like that we've had to like get really good at, and we feel
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, in
Mhm.
this, I feel like I could be a neurologist for chronic
Yes.
migraine right now because I
Really,
have like
really,
read all of
yeah.
the things. Yeah. I bet you put us all together and we'd have practically an entire medical field.
Probably.
Um,
Yeah, probably. We could probably
We
get
might-
through.
Yeah. At this point, we could probably get through, but we won't. We won't.
No, we
I'm
won't.
not
We'll
giving
leave it to
anyone
the
medical
professionals.
advice. We'll leave
Not
it
at
to the
all.
professionals. We do have a good friend who is a professional, who's a wound care specialist. I'm sure you know his name is Dr. Eric Lulov.
And Jack's a
Um,
nurse too.
And Jack's a nurse. So we have folks in the community who help bring
Mhm.
expertise to us and help validate or dispute some of the things that we're talking about. And it's great because we need both sides of those. But one of the things we like to do for all of us here, and it's one of our favorite parts of the morning for everyone, is a bit of relaxation before we go. Because the week sucks. The week tends to suck more often than not right now because we have a shitty ass regime in charge of the US that makes everything suck. And that causes a lot of stress and it causes a lot of other symptomology. However, meditation is a great way we have found to react to it and to give ourselves some time to relax and time for life and a little bit of time for meditation here. So our friend Beth Cruz writes a new meditation every week for us. And this week, this meditation is featuring some images from our friend Jack in the community as well. And we are so excited for this one. So
I
everyone,
can get it.
everyone,
No?
we're going to have a great we're going to have a great meditation here. I'm going to
It
get us
doesn't
all,
like me.
I'm going to get us all muted so that we don't start talking over the meditation. But once we get there, we are going to have a a birdwatch meditation this morning for all of us. And I'm so excited as Beth is, or Steph is over there rocking out.
I know, she's rocking out.
I'm trying to get anything
All right.
to go. Like, all of this reaction is not working today.
Okay. So everyone, thank you for such a wonderful discussion this morning, being here at Community. We really appreciate you. We'll see you back on the flip side here in about just over 3 minutes, where we'll do our outro to the show. Everyone will be able to tell people where they can find themselves, promote themselves shamelessly. We'll start with Kait today for that too. But enjoy your meditation, friends. Let's have a great way to close out this morning and start the rest of your week. So little time for meditation as we birdwatch.
Welcome to our birdwatch meditation. Join me by taking a deep breath in through your nose and slowly exhale out through your mouth. Take another deep breath in and slowly exhale out. One more deep breath in and slowly exhale out. You, yes you, this is what self-care looks like. Allowing yourself those much needed moments to just breathe and be. Feel your body letting go of all that ruffles your feathers. Stress, worry, tension, all these things can be left behind as you tend to you. Without guilt, without hesitation, you are allowed this moment of quiet stillness. The northern flicker goes about their day as the world moves around them, simply content to be. It pauses to recharge from foraging when necessary, and then takes flight. The crow sits watchful, unhurried, commanding presence. There is something in that. The ability to remain fully present, fully aware, while sitting in stillness. While the spotted towhee is happy to stay near the ground, unbothered by what is happening above, it sits in quiet confidence, knowing that it does not need to soar to know its own worth. Our bodies were not designed to stay on heightened alert, and it is important to find that balance of being aware while remaining calm and present. Like water off a duck's back, let whatever negativity comes your way roll right off. Reset, refocus. Taking these moments to breathe add to our ability to be resilient even in the harsh seasons of our lives. You are not alone in this journey. You are doing your best to survive in the landscape you are in. Allowing yourself to sit quietly, unbothered, unhurried in quiet solitude is wise. Bring yourself back to this moment of calm whenever you feel your feathers ruffle.
I'm not sure what happened to Kait. There she is. She's back. Perfect timing.
That was lovely.
Eventually.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
lovely.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Thank
What did
you,
I
Beth.
miss? I know I missed the meditation. I was trying to watch the meditation and then my internet dropped out on me.
You
You can
haven't
go back
missed,
and watch it.
I'm going
and
to.
don't
haven't
worry. We've got it posted already on Sick of This Shit publications for this morning, and I will link to it in our post show notes as always for everyone. And Kait, you actually just popped back in right at the perfect time, which is, how can people support you? How can people find the work that you're doing and shamelessly plug yourself?
Thank you. Well, you can find me here on Substack. It's called Downwind of Truth. I have been writing a lot about Epstein, but also just about government transparency and corruption and how to be what I like to call an average informed citizen, because, you know, technically I'm not an expert in anything. I'm just like you. You know, we're just people who deserve accountability and transparency. And so I try to break down the things that I find as I understand them in a way that invites people to the conversation. So the best way to find me is to, you know, subscribe here on Substack, and everything that I write is free. So all of my paid subscribers are the reason that I can make sure that I keep everything free. So that's been amazing. It's been quite a couple of months here.
Well, I'm glad that people are recognizing the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
And that you are being rewarded for the efforts, because the work that you're doing is really important. The investigations that you're digging into are really important. And more accountability and truth we can get now, so that we're prepared when we can actually do something about it. We need these. And so come support Kait. She's awesome.
Thank you very much.
And this has been really fun to get to know you and talk to you today about your
thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Steph, let's move on. As always, next.
So I have a podcast, Freedom Over Fascism, where I have conversations with people who can put our world into context and help us figure out how to fight the fascism. I'm on a little bit of a break, which is, I guess, fortuitous, because my, my mom has there's illness. And so I'll be back. Kait, I would love to have you on when I get back. Yeah. And you can support me with a free or paid subscription. All my content is free, but if you can manage a paid subscription, will be helpful, because we don't get paid for this. And I'm here with chronic migraine and fatigue. So I'm glad you're all here, and you all are my people. And also thanks, Kait, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Steph. Soso, how about you, my friend?
Hi, well, my name is Soso. I'm a French Canadian who lives in the province of Quebec. I am the little alien out here trying to support everyone right now fighting fascism, but mostly I would say finding my way. It's been about a year on Substack. I do a lot of photography, and also we're actually with Beth. We have a new podcast. Well, it's been a few episodes now that we call Time for Life. So we want to talk about joy and, try to ask people, even if it's hard out there, how do you make time to make, time and space for joy? Because it's really important to, promote that within yourself, especially when you have a chronic illness, because, pacing yourself, you're not always having fun. I mean, last week I wasn't even on either because I was in a flare, and anyways. So you can look for us, and then we are publishing under Sick of the Sick publication. Thank you, Nick, so much for having us. Trying to widen also to widen the. I can't talk anymore. See, fog. All right, that's it.
No, I get it. Thanks, Soso. Totally appreciate it.
Oh yeah, and she does karaoke, and she's amazing.
Oh yeah, and there's karaoke too. So we get karaoke nights.
It was one special. Now we have to sort of get it back on track.
Now you got to get it rolling so you can do it some more.
Yeah.
Time to sing.
Next. Oh, where is it? Beth, you, my friend,
darn.
the Possibilitarian.
You can find me at the Possibilitarian's Light. You can find me here on Mondays with all my friends. And again with Soso on Wednesdays, trying to make some time for life. And I'm writing and creating, and if you'd like to support me, follow the QR code. I would love to have more subscribers and meet other like-minded people. So thank you. You guys know this is so hard for me.
Yeah, I know it's hard for you. Beth does all our amazing meditations. Please go support Beth. She's really awesome, and The meditations are wonderful, and it's really incredible to get a new one every week too. So please support Beth. She's awesome. She also does a lot of work behind the scenes too, and is a support and volunteer with Sick of This Shit Publications to help build us up. So please go support her. And then finally, come support me here at Sick of This Shit Publications.
Can I say something right before you start? Jack said that he wanted to do a Sonny and Cher duet with Soso. So I'm just putting it out there so it doesn't scroll
that would
by.
be so cool.
So just wanted to bring that to our attention.
Now it's got to happen. Now
I'm
Jackie
getting
said it's got to
volunteers
happen.
right now. I'm asking who wants to join, right?
So Sonny and Cher, that's great. That's what we got. It's on the list.
You have to dress the part.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's
what?
Dress.
You have to dress the part. You have to dress
the part. Yep.
That'd be cool. Oh my God. I want to do
You
this.
totally could do Cher. So like you are.
Thank you.
I am such an instigator.
Jack says,
It brings me joy.
Beth.
There you
So we've got it. We've got it. Jack, you're on. And so come support us here at Sick of This Shit Publications, where we put on this work, and we do these chronic illness discussions. We tackle masculinity and the bullshit that's going on with fragile, stupid masculinity, and redefine it for intelligent masculinity that doesn't suck for the rest of you, because a lot of men just need to suck less. And
where's your bottle?
it's on the table. I have my Just Suck Less water. Plus
merch.
Grab your chronically illing out coffee mug and join
God,
us as we chronically ill out, and have your coffee, tea, whatever you want to put into your coffee mug or tea mug while you're doing it. We've got plenty of fun things like that on the site. As always, the shop link is included in the show notes. But please come support us here at Sick of This Shit Publications to help continue building the platform. I'm going to be busy. There's some new stuff I'm going to be starting this week, and so you'll probably see me more, but not on my own platform. So I'll be busy behind the scenes.
I think I know.
I think you do know.
I think I know.
It's not really a secret. Is y'all will see me helping support Lev Parnas here much more. I'm helping do technical support and show support, production management for his shows, and so you'll see me helping out.
That's awesome.
Tonight, hopefully for the first one, and
at 6.
Yes.
I'll be there.
Oh, you're going to be there tonight.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be on tonight. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, well, so I'll see you again today.
I'll figure that schedule out, because I don't know who's supposed to be on tonight for that show.
I am just being kind of added over the weekend, I think. So I think that they were just, because I wasn't sure if it was 7 or 6, and I wasn't sure if I could do it. So I think that I'm supposed to be there.
Yeah, I think it's 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe we'll figure out the times, Beth.
Can I jump in and say that also, because you're getting triggered to do that, and I'm getting triggered to help you more behind the scenes, but let's talk about volunteers real quick.
Oh,
Courtney,
yes.
Volunteer plug. Courtney has done a great job behind the scenes of she's like this amazing superhero woman that I don't know where she gets the energy, but we need more. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, we need more volunteers, and we could always use more volunteers. I will include a volunteer link in the show notes, but we have a webpage called broadbanner.com for anyone who wants to go to it, with a volunteer link where you can sign up, put your name in, become a volunteer with us, and the overall broad banner, Sick of This Shit Publications community, and we're building tools. We have a ton of tools for automations. In fact, every show for this week that has been scheduled by me on my platform, I've automated it so that it schedules here in Substack and links to Restream and schedules our Restream show. So all I have to do is ensure that folks are accurately added for co-hosts, and instead of 15 minutes, 20 minutes a show to get prepared and make sure keys are set up and invites, it takes 5, and all I have to do is just like make sure that somebody's name is checked off correctly. So I've been working I've been working for some automations behind the scene. Kate,
Yeah.
if there's anything you might be interested on those side, we have like social distribution automation. So after this show, you'll see all of the clips from today's episode will automatically post in different times throughout the morning on both Blue Sky and Threads. Substack is really hard for that, so sorry,
Let's
folks.
give Nick a hug here.
I know, that is amazing. Like
That is
I
amazing.
ran my own social media agency for about 7 years before, you know, all of this. And so I have a deep appreciation for automation and workflows and all of that with the content and editing. And that is so much work.
Well then, Kate, let's talk some after too, because see if there's any way I can help you, and you might be able to use these tools too, because we also have the way to help download and correct transcripts, and there's a backdoor learning support system that I've created that feeds into the AI models in a different way than like normal content, because they use different services to like pull their information from, and I'm like, we're going to distribute our content there for free.
Awesome.
And they're going to get all of it. So screw y'all. But yeah, can I has your scripts? Maybe. We're not open source. It's not open source at the moment. It may not ever get fully open source. It will be community driven, but we're working on having it so that it's easy for others to integrate with and start using on their own. So like you can connect to your own machine and have it run a bunch of automations for you. So it's not dependent on me, not dependent on AWS. It's dependent on you have a computer. Do you want to have your computer help you?
That's awesome.
So
yeah.
Some tools, and I want to spread those for folks to really use.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks for staying a couple minutes long with us.
Absolutely.
While we do our outro here. Everyone, smash that heart one last time if you're on Substack, if you're with us anywhere else. And if you're on Substack, hit the like, subscribe button in the top corner. And then, as always, like, share, and subscribe after everything is done, because this is Sick of This Shit Publications. We're done being sick of this shit here, and now we're doing this shit. So let's have a great day, everyone. Have a great week, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Kate.
Everyone. Thank you.